Wednesday morning, you drive into training. Can you explain to us how the news broke to you that Ferguson was retiring?
He just come into the dressing room on Wednesday morning. He called a meeting, just the players only, and he just broke the news to us that that it was time for him to go. And obviously we were a little bit shell shocked, and everybody was a little bit quiet really. It was a weird feeling, a bit of a strange morning, but that's just the way it happened. Now there'd been rumblings on the Tuesday afternoon, and I think he was a little bit disappointed that something had come out, because I don't think it was the way he wanted the players or his staff to find out. So he just told us that on the Wednesday morning, and I think players were just a little bit shocked, a little bit quiet, because it's all we've ever known.
You think that, like you say, he wanted to do it in a different way, that he felt that it was released before he wanted it to be released?
I think so, yeah. You know how he is. He played for him, and he's all for his players, and he gets behind his players. He protects his players to the hilt, really. Even if he's not happy with something inside, to the outside world, he will protect his players, and I think he realised how important his players are to him, and I think he really wanted us to know first.
What did you personally feel? What was training like that morning? Was it weird?
It was strange, yeah, but I suppose as footballers you just get on with it, don't you? You lose big players before you lose friends out of the team, and it's for a couple of days it does affect you, but I suppose we're quite cold people, aren't we? We just is that just me? You just have to move on.
Unemotional.
Unemotional, yeah. We just it was a strange, quiet day. There's no getting away from that. How long has he been here? 20 odd years. With every player that's been here has not known any different. Every staff member has not known any different, and from July, from pre-season, the things are going to change.
Now with all the ones who've played under him have got our own memories. What are your early memories of him when you were a kid coming through the ranks?
The fear of him, really. Just the presence about him, that you can just know when he's in a room. You just have to be careful what you're doing, and just make sure he's in a nice mood.
Was there any particular moment that stands out for you where you got the wrong side of him?
Well, it was something stupid really, that I created myself. I didn't really get the wrong side of him. It was something I refused to play a game, which you remember, don't you? Against, I think it was Arsenal away in the cup. We'd played Liverpool the day before, and he'd left me out of the game. And as you are in them days, as I was, stupid. You're young, and you probably think you're more important than you actually are. And we were getting beat 2-0 in the game as well, and there was no sign of him bringing me on, and I was thinking he should have done. But I had a feeling he was trying to wind me up and trying to save me for the game the night after, which was really basically a reserve game. Yeah. So I think we were going from Stockport Station, and I drove down to see him and told him I'm not going, which is, you think of someone doing that, it's stupid, and it's how daft can you be? To this day I still regret doing it, and he fined me a week's wages, I think, or possibly 2 weeks' wages, which I was quite lucky just for that, really. If you look now, it's probably a sackable offence. You'd have to say, if I was a manager, or you was a manager, and one of your players did it, you'd have to say sacking wouldn't be out of the question. But he fined me 2 weeks' wages, said that was the end of it, and get on with it, shook hands, and that was that. He didn't hold a grudge or anything. No. And as you know, he likes to deal with stuff there and then, and lets you get on with it.
And what do you think his greatest strength would be from your perspective?
Just the way he protects players. I don't think you've ever seen him come out in an interview afterwards and have a go at any of his players, no matter how disappointed he is with them. He'll keep everything like that in-house, and I think that's a a great strength that not all managers have.
And how do you think, obviously you're still in the club, we'll come into what you're going to do in a minute, but how do you think the club is going to react to losing Sir Alex Ferguson within that dressing room?
You just don't know, only time can tell. David Moyes looks like a great appointment, but he has got all the credentials. He's been loyal to his last club, Everton, 11 years, which is the manager's been loyal here as well. I'm sure they've had opportunities to go to bigger clubs or to different teams, but the job he's done there has been great, and for our manager to recommend him, then he must see some qualities that he had himself as a younger man.
So the players, you think generally, you just mentioned there that happy with the appointment. You think that's the feeling amongst the players? Obviously he's going to inherit a great group of players, one that's just won the league. You get the feeling that the players are happy with the way in which the club are moving forwards.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, if you ask players, I'm sure they're all happy with the appointment. I think it's probably a little too soon to really think about that. We've still got 2 games left. The news is really fresh in people's minds. But I'm sure once they come round to it, they get back in July and they're ready for a new season, then they'll be right behind the new manager. And like you say, it's not a bad job to come into, is it, with 22 top-class players to look after?
Now, what do you think David Moyes has to do in his initial period at the club? Obviously, he's been here for a long time. What would you say the first things he has to do, the impressions he has to make?
I'm not sure that's going to be totally up to him. I'm sure that he'll have his own ideas about what he wants to do. Like we both said, he's inheriting 20, 23, 24 top players who all want to play every week. He's possibly at Everton, he's maybe had 14 or 15 that he's constantly had to play game after game after game, and that'll be something different for him that he'll have to try and look after. But all the players here, they just want to win things, and I'm sure he's the same.
Will he have Paul Scholes as a player in his dressing room next season?
No, he will not.
Is this it?
I think this is it. Yeah. Well, no, I'm sure this is it. It's not probably been the season I would have liked to have gone out on, but the last 4 months have been quite difficult with injury, with my knee, trying to get back fit again. I've managed to try and get fit for the last couple of games, but no, I think this will be the end again.
And are you convinced this time? I know last time when you retired, you felt that you made the wrong decision. I think pretty early on. Are you convinced this time it is absolutely the right decision, that you want to finish, you need to finish?
Yeah, I'm totally convinced. Last time I was convinced. Last time, to be honest, at the time you are, but after 6 months of having blank Saturday and Sunday afternoons, it does get to you a bit. And I was training with reserves, and I'm feeling good. And at the time, the first team was struggling really. They just had no fit players, no midfield players playing. I think I went to a game over Christmas, and I think they had maybe Rafa and somebody else, another defender in centre midfield. They just had no players, and that's when I decided. Well, I spoke to you, then I spoke to you, Phil, and I thought I might as well give it a go and go and see him. And but now I know it's definitely the right time. Like I say, it's not been the season that I would have liked to have gone out on, but that's just the way it is. I think there's probably one of two ways you can finish. You can finish at near the top, where you are playing every week and contributing something, or there was always something in me that thought, shall I go on and just play until I can't play anymore, where there's a chance your performance are going to suffer for that, but at least in your mind that you've done everything you can physically possible to go as long as you can, and that's probably that's what I have done now. It's like I say, performance-wise, it's not been a season I'll remember for that, but I know now in my head that I've gone as far as I possibly can physically.
And you're not one for limelight, I think it's fair to say. Sir Alex Ferguson's last game at Old Trafford. I mean, any other week this would be a huge occasion. Paul Scholes playing his last game at Old Trafford. Are you happy in some ways?
Delighted. Couldn't be any better, could it? Wayne Rooney asked for a transfer. There's not much else can happen that can go well for me. No, it's a perfect weekend for me, isn't it? Last game, just slip under the radar and off I go. So try and play for an hour.
Will you go out Sunday night, celebrate, or will you just go back home?
We'll probably just go back home. We've got a busy week next week, haven't we? We've got the parade, we've got the awards dinner, so a nice quiet one, I would have thought.
And so, do you have any idea of your standing in the game? I know you're so humble in the way in which you obviously behave, everything in some ways, but are you have any idea at all as to what you're thought of in terms of externally in football?
Well, you hear people saying nice stuff about you, and there's probably some people who don't say nice stuff that is too nice, but the only opinion that matters to me is the manager and the first team staff. That's all that matters. Do you feel as though you see the young lads coming through and they're all hungry to play for United? Do you see yourself as being the last of a kind? Because that's where I see it, the sort of the football player who just thinks about football. I mean, this is an irritation to you, this, isn't it? Yeah. It is a lot more part of. It's a bigger part of the game now as a press, definitely. From when we started, it was nothing like this. And the players are pestered for interviews every day. They've got to do appearances every once a week. It's the way football has gone. It'd be a bit of a nightmare if I was 18, 19 now.
Does it disappoint you? Does it disappoint you that, or is it just a case of it's just not the way you are?
People do want to listen to people speak, don't they? But when you're hearing the same people 2 or 3 times a week, then I think, yeah, look at you every Monday night. Jesus, you go too far. I think it's nice. Maybe you might do something once a month or something, which the club do with MUTV. It's not a bad thing to air your views, but the world now, there's Twitter and there's this Facebook and
you're not on Twitter and Facebook.
No.
We will be seen on there anytime soon.
No. What's the point in telling people what you're doing? Why? Going to the shop, so what? What
will Paul Scholes do?
Well, the manager wants me to be on the coaching staff, doesn't he? But he's a different manager, so I don't know what the new manager will want. I don't know. I just probably need to get my head away from.
Is it coaching?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm not sure what else I could do. But no, I'd like to have a little break first, try and get my head away from football. That's possibly what I should have done last time.
Will we ever hear from you again?
I hope not. I don't know. People say all kinds of things, don't they? I've heard people say, "Oh, you'll never see me when you finish." And
are you aware of that? Because I mean, you think of people like some of the ambassadors now at the club that were so anti-media, anti-exposure really during their careers, but then once they finish, they recognise, I actually have to get myself out there a little bit. I have to get going again. I have to really go and grab something and move on with my life. Do you think you will change?
I don't know. That's what I'm not going to say that you might see me in the future. I think words are cheap sometimes, aren't they? When you say, "No, you'll never see me." I'm not the type of person who'll come out and say you'll never see me, because you might do. Who knows? Coaching might go well. I might get a decent job. I might not. You might never see me again. We'll just never know, will we?
And do you want to be a manager of a football team one day? Would that be something that you'd look into doing?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, but yeah, I think I would like to be in charge of my own team and to be in charge of my own players and try and make a team play the way I like football to be played.
What is that? Tell me what Paul Scholes' team plays like.
To win games.
How?
Scoring goals. Not conceding a lot of goals. Scoring more goals than the team.
And is it that simple? I mean, I remember you saying to me that everything should be more simple. It's just complicated. You're not a great fan of unintelligent football, are you? You like intelligent footballers, don't you?
I think we all like intelligent footballers, don't we all? Like, well, do we all? Some people might not do. I like seeing football played the right way. I like seeing talented players being able to beat a man, and effective football.
And which players? I mean, forget the club players at this club. Which players in the Premier League would you look at and think, I like watching him play?
Well, your Matters, your Hazards, I'm trying to think of the top clubs. These, not just the creative players, the players who, you know, not always try and be flash, not always selfish people, but you know, they're willing to play for the team, and the qualities they have. You know, even if they're clean through on goal, they'll side foot it to a teammate who can score.